Mic check, Greg.
1 2 3 1 2 3.
Funny, Greg. It's so funny. It says, there's a meme here. It's this kid holding a trophy. It says, police calm millennial protesters by handing.
Paul, they wanted to see if you could go ahead and get mic'd up for a mic check. Mic check, 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5.
Forestry officials tell us the fire is now 80% contained, but it's still not safe enough for. I hear myself in mixed minus. Forestry officials tell us the fire is now 80% contained, but it's still not safe for residents to return home tonight. Until it is, firefighters are keeping a... No, I'm good now, thank you. Forestry officials tell us the fire is now 80% contained, but it's still not safe for residents to return home tonight. Until it is, firefighters are keeping a close watch on the neighborhood. Left. Forestry officials tell us the fire is now.
Just a little to your right. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
You won't.
Fire is now 80% contained, but it's still not safe for residents. Mic check, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10.
With coverage you can count on, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11 in HD.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Greg Glover.
And I'm Cindy Sexton. It's the second night away from home for 64 residents on Signal Mountain.
The wildfire that's burned more than 800 acres forced those families to evacuate the Boston Branch neighborhood last night. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Sarah Sidery joins us live. Sarah, has that blaze been contained up there?
Greg, forestry officials tell us the fire is now 80% contained, but it's still not safe for residents to come home tonight. Until it is, though, firefighters are keeping a close watch on the neighborhood. A couple dozen homes remain vacant as the wildfire on Signal Mountain burns through the night. But firefighters are not leaving the neighborhood.
Firefighters will continue to remain at Boston Branch throughout the night.
Over the past 2 days, firefighters have sprayed water on the land below Little Bend Road to keep the flames away.
We're here to keep the fire contained until the fire breaks and let it burn. We're not here to actually put that out. We're here to protect property.
While homes near the fire lines are guarded by firefighters and sheriff's deputies, the Tennessee Forestry Division works to contain the fire as a whole.
Today we've made some good progress. We've got probably about 80% of it contained.
Forestry officials are optimistic the fire line crews were worried about. The one that, if breached, would have put homes in Boston Branch at risk, has held.
We actually put in a secondary line just, for safety issues. And so the first line did jump in a couple small places, but the secondary line held. So that's looking good right now.
The fire has not damaged any homes. Crews rely on lower temperatures and humidity at night. Changing conditions force them to adjust.
It's just Mother Nature. We just have to see where it takes us. But we're here. We're here to respond and protect in any way, shape, or form.
It's still unclear when residents will be able to return home. Forestry officials will reassess those fire lines in the morning. Live in Hamilton County, Sarah Sidery, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Sarah. If there's a chance you could be forced from your home, some things you can do before you leave your property could make a difference. Remove flammable window shades and curtains, shut off the air conditioning or heat, and remember to gather all medications you might need.
On the outside of your home, make sure flammable items such as patio furniture, children's toys, or doormats are not close to your home. Also, move propane barbecue appliances away from structures and keep an emergency supply kit in your vehicle. Find a full list that contains more safety tips at WRCBTV.com.
Residents on Mowbray Mountain were allowed to return to their homes tonight.
About 25 families living on Arnott Drive and Bonita Circle were asked to leave this afternoon so firefighters could move in and protect their homes. We spoke to one woman who packed her most important possessions in her car. She's ready to roll if the fire gets closer.
The smoke was unbelievable. You really couldn't see. It was awful.
The blaze on Mowbray Mountain is downright terrifying when you're right in the thick of it.
I mean, when you can see the flames and you can see the smoke and the ashes falling like it was raining ashes.
Donna Abbott Smith had been helping a neighbor save his outbuilding.
So I came home and I knew that it was getting really bad. And I had actually sat here thinking about packing up stuff, but never did.
Then the order came.
A police officer came banging on the door and told me I needed to get my animals and to go, that we were being evacuated.
Here's why. Smoke from the burning woods filled the blue skies, and so did aircraft. The bright red retardant so familiar from wildfire fighting out west was just one more tool local crews used to try to tame the flames before physical property was lost.
They've been fighting fires for weeks now, and it's tiring. It's a hard job.
So is deciding what's important when hit with the reality that it's time to leave.
And I started just ripping pictures off the wall that were very important, and grabbing all the sentimental things and putting them in the car.
And that's where they'll stay for now.
I'm going to leave everything packed up so that I am ready to go if I have to. But I'm going to stay as long as I possibly can.
At last check, the fire on Mowbray Mountain has burned at least 230 acres. No structures have been damaged and no injuries have been reported.
In Georgia, forestry officials say the fire burning in the Cahata Wilderness area has grown significantly. Forestry officials say the Rough Ridge wildfire has burned now more than 10,000 acres. That's nearly 4,000 more since the last update. About 300 firefighters are working to put it out, but so far it is only about 13% contained. On Lookout Mountain in Dade County, the fire has burned about 175 acres, but forestry officials say that fire has the potential to grow. It's no secret the best thing to do to decrease the wildfires would be to get some of that wet stuff out of the sky.
We haven't had a significant rain in what feels like forever, and now the wind is also a big concern. Chief Meteorologist Paul Bears is standing by in the Storm Alert Center to tell us what's on the horizon. Paul, this may be the first Friday night football forecast where you have to factor in smoke wafting across the valley.
Reduced visibilities, yeah. The one thing tomorrow night and even tonight, the winds have really died down. So that's helping, corral these fires. But it's still a serious situation. Let's take a look right now at the drought situation. I want to show you that. Every Thursday we get a new update on the drought, and it's exceptional, which is the worst level of drought you can have for most of the Tennessee Valley. If it's not exceptional, it's extreme. So all of the Tennessee Valley is under a horrible drought. and could be, and it probably will be, the worst drought in the history of the Tennessee Valley. I want to show you now, if we can. There we go. Vipercast. This is the close-up version. See these arrows indicating the winds? This is around 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Wind's not that strong. The longer the arrow is, and the bigger the arrow is, the stronger the winds. And the strongest winds will be into the Blue Ridge Mountains for tomorrow, with winds out of the north, the northwest by about 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. They'll die down again tomorrow night, just a little bit, and then coming up right into Saturday, they'll shift a little bit more towards the northeast, and then they'll die down probably into the afternoon if we get a big high pressure system sitting right over us. So that'll be good news. We'll get to the school day forecast and the complete forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Paul. We've touched on a few of the bigger wildfires in the Tennessee Valley, but we know there are many more happening all over our viewing area and beyond. These pictures were sent in by Channel 3 viewers. If you capture a good picture of a wildfire in your area, email it to us at news@wrcbtv.com.
And I guess at this point, good, being a good picture, will be subjective, huh? We have an entire section dedicated to the wildfire watch on our website, wrcbtv.com.
Chattanooga police are investigating a reported shooting in the Brainerd area tonight. It was near the intersection of Brainerd Road and North Germantown Road just before 6 o'clock. Police say details are limited at this time.
About 140 people in Cleveland are expected to lose their jobs when the Duracell battery packing plant closes down. The company announced today they want to consolidate their plants from 2 sites to 1. Company officials say the Cleveland plant will wind down operations by the year 2018.
Still to come at 11, Paul Barris has a full look at your forecast.
Plus, Donald Trump had a friendly sit-down with President Obama today. Sharp contrast to the anger being vented by some still seething apparently about the outcome of the election. We'll bring the latest next.
With coverage you can count on, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11 in HD.
Well, it's going to be pretty quiet for tomorrow. In the morning, the smoke will only be hanging around where the fires are because the wind won't be blowing that strong. But later on in the afternoon, the winds will be out of the north and smoke will spread out, sort of like it did today. And so if you had smoke today, you'll probably have smoke again tomorrow. 30, this is the first time in 41 years I've had to give forecasts about smoke. 39, the temperature at around 7 o'clock in the morning, and by afternoon should be about 67. Lots of sunshine except for the smoke. And again, what we're looking at is that cloudiness out to the west. That's a system out there, but those are just high clouds. No rain out of those. All the rain's down into the Gulf of Mexico. Winds are calm right now. 42 in Cleveland. It's going to be a cold night. Look at Dalton's already 40. Fort Payne's 36. 45 in the city. 34 in Murphy. You know they're going to get frost in Murphy. Definitely already temperature 34. They may drop down to about 30 degrees. So pretty much of a freeze coming up towards Cherokee County. And a lot of the icy spots away from the city are going to be cold enough for some frost tonight. So if you live in the outlying areas, you may want to cover up those plants. 69, 42, the high and the low for today. I don't think we'll have frost in Chattanooga itself, but in outlying areas you could. About 69 in Dalton, 69 in Lafayette, and in Chatsworth, with 72 in Trenton, 70 in Calhoun, 69 even in the LJ, with 67 out near Cleveland, 70 Lakeside, also Delano, and right here in North Chattanooga at Channel 3. 67 10 Mile to 64 in Coalmont, 65 in Cagle Mountain, almost 70 in Jasper. Murphy got up to 65 downtown, Turtletown at 63, while it was 68 up in Spring City. A cold front is approaching. That's what we need, another dry cold front. All the cloudiness down to the west, and then that cold front passes by tomorrow afternoon. So we'll have the winds pick up briefly out of the north, and then they'll die down overnight. Still a little bit of a window. High pressure builds in, makes the air sink again. Again, we're going to have a little bit of wind out of the north coming up on Saturday. Then it'll be coming out of the east for a while. And then by Sunday, it looks like it'll be coming out of the south. And most of the cloudiness will stay to the south of us. And into Monday, it looks like a southwesterly wind, so the smoke will be going to the north this time. Pinpoint forecast. South Pittsburgh, 69 tomorrow with sunshine. And then a few clouds in Mineral Bluff and about 66, but it's going to remain high and dry. Tonight, clear, cool. A little bit of smoke again where the fires are burning, 38 for that low. For tomorrow, 70, mostly sunny. The smoke starts to spread out south of where the fires are because the wind will be coming out of the north and northwest at about 10 to 15. So that could be a problem again for the firefighters tomorrow afternoon. 43 tomorrow night with some clouds, a light northerly wind. And then on the 7-day forecast, Saturday, winds lighter and 64 for the high. And then 38 coming up Sunday morning and 65 Sunday afternoon. And the wind's not too strong then. And the dry weather will continue right into next week. The next chance for rain, and it's a small one right now, is next weekend. So not this weekend, next weekend. So cross your fingers and your toes and everything else you got there.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Got it covered. Oh, thanks.
Okay.
President-elect Donald Trump is back on Twitter tonight. He has two very different messages.
He's praising President and Mrs. Obama for their historic meeting today at the White House, and he's blasting the protesters who are angry about his election. NBC's Brian Moore has the story tonight from Washington.
Hey, oh, oh, Donald Trump has got to go.
On the second night of protest in cities across the country, demonstrators in Washington focused on President-elect Donald Trump's newest hotel.
Not my president, not my president.
A few yards away, one protester debated a group of Trump supporters.
We didn't protest against Trump against Obama when he got elected. We didn't come out here and do this.
You know why? You know why you didn't protest? Because you didn't have to.
Even some demonstrators disagreed on what they were for and against.
I'm Muslim, I'm brown.
The president-elect took to Twitter this evening to call the protesters professionals incited by the media. A stark contrast to the Oval Office cordiality shown between president and president-elect.
We want to do everything we can to help you succeed, because if you succeed, then the country succeeds.
Mr. President, it was a great honor being with you, and I look forward to being with you many, many more times in the future. Thank you, sir.
On Twitter, Trump called it a fantastic day, really good meeting, great chemistry. Melania liked Mrs. O a lot. He also met Speaker Paul Ryan, looking for common ground with a man who abandoned him during the election.
Whether it's health care or immigration, so many different things.
Later, the president and first lady-to-be got a dramatic look at the Capitol stand where he'll take the oath of office on January 20th. The election is over, but the results are not. NBC has just called Arizona for Donald Trump. Brian Moore, NBC News, Washington.
Ever since the big news that came in the wee hours Wednesday morning, Madame Tussauds in London has been scrambling to prepare a wax figure of President-elect Donald Trump.
One of the experts making Trump's likeness said she's using yak hair for the wax figure's hair. Sculptors have finished the raw wax head, and attention has now turned to perfecting his hairstyle, which they say is a meticulous process. The Wax Museum plans to have the replica ready in time for Trump's inauguration in January. Yak hair.
Would make a very interesting how-to, wouldn't
No
it?
kidding.
A video?
Oh, yeah.
When we come back to Eyewitness News at 11, you huff and puff your way through those daily workouts, but you may not be seeing any results.
In our Eye on Health, a local trainer shows us some of the biggest workout mistakes and how to correct them. Stay with us. If you've been working out consistently for months, maybe years, and you aren't seeing the results you want, or even worse, that scale is creeping back up, this story is for you.
In this Eye on Health report, Channel 3's Latrice Curry talks to a local expert about how to get the most out of your workout.
Millions of Americans hit the gym every day, struggling through those daily workouts, but they walk out without seeing any results.
And life happens, and I just decided it was time for me to be healthier for them.
Misty says she was working out, trying to get back in shape to keep up with her 2 young children, but her workout wasn't working. So what's the problem? We caught up with Danielle Hinckley, a personal trainer at the Hamilton YMCA, who explains the 6 biggest reasons your workout isn't working. First, you aren't using proper form.
Proper form is everything. First of all, it relies to safety. So for instance, if you're working out in a lunge position, you want to keep your shoulders square with your hips.
One study actually shows that good posture allows you to take in more oxygen, so your workout is actually easier, allowing you to burn more calories.
The second reason may be you aren't staying hydrated.
But make sure you drink before you work out, during the workout, and after. So you always want to carry that water bottle with you.
And we've probably all seen those people distracted at the gym, either reading or talking on the phone while working out.
So you want to take that time to just focus on what you're doing. So being on the phone, that's very distracting, not only to you, but others around you.
You shouldn't rely on those digital displays on the cardio machines too much.
You can look at the timing, but based on like the weight or the pace that you're going, you don't want to focus much on that. It's how you're feeling. It's your heart rate going up.
Not many of us look forward to going to the gym. If you don't enjoy it, you won't reap the benefits.
So you do want to have either personal training. If that's not your goal, get a friend.
From inside to outside, Danielle says it's important to change up your routine every few weeks. And don't skip the weight training.
So you do want to have either personal training. If that's not your goal, get a friend. And just making that appointment and saying, okay, we're going to meet at the Y or at another gym at a certain point, that's going to motivate you to actually show up.
Misty says by making a few changes, she's definitely seen a difference. So don't be discouraged. Make sure you give yourself at least 12 weeks to see real results. Latrice Curry, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
Coming up next in sports, the start of college basketball means the start of Jim Foster's one-liners here in Chattanooga.
Plus, Walker Valley and Ooltewah set to clash in the second round of playoffs. Our game of the week previews next with Paul Shaheen, Sports.
Play at Rutgers, then we play Florida and Indiana, and then the schedule.
Yeah, I think it was open tryouts.
Yeah, we play at Rutgers, then we play Florida and Indiana, and then the schedule gets difficult.
Go ahead. Ask me what I love most about the start of college basketball season in Chattanooga. All right, I'll just tell you. It's those zany one-liners from Hall of Famer Jim Foster. Rutgers, Florida, and Indiana to start the season. That's worth another one, right?
Anybody remembers Al McGuire? You know, we're not playing a schedule loaded with teams named after obscure saints or bodies of water.
And then the chuckle after that. That is what's best about it. Get ready for a season of it as well. Now, we won't get to hear from Foster tomorrow night as the Lady Mocs are on the road at Rutgers. They're back home for a big one with Florida on Monday. That means Bradley Central grad and current Gator Brooke Copeland will be inside McKenzie Arena against the Lady Mocs. And do not forget the UTC men also open up on the big stage. They're at Tennessee tomorrow night at 7, and it's no rest after that. They visit 6th ranked North Carolina Sunday at 4 on ESPN2. Walker Valley ended the football season with a sour taste after losing to Ooltewah by 22 on senior night. But fear not, the Mustangs get a shot at redemption. This time, it's in the second round of the 5A playoffs. After dropping one-seeded Oak Ridge last week, the Mustangs will now hit the road. This time, to the Owl's Nest in our FNF Game of the Week. And it could be a historic game, as Walker Valley has never beaten Ooltewah.
We don't feel like we played our best game by any means against them. The last time we were a better football team than what we showed, and the guys know that, and so they have something to prove.
No two games play out the same way. It's a matter of a play here or there that turns momentum and things like that. And I think our players will be ready. I know they will be. I would assume we'll have a packed house here, I would think, and it should be a heck of a ball game.
Sweat, dudes in singlets, and a fancy candlelit dinner. The UTC wrestling program has you covered. And here's the video proof. The Mocs hosting VMI candlelit dinner with the lights dimmed down low. It's marketing genius as they wrestle in the middle. And you know who's wrestling genius? Justin Lampe. Look at Lampe just doing work. He's in the blue singlet. He won by a major decision tonight at 165 pounds. The 24th ranked Chattanooga Mocs. Yeah, they're inside the top 25, by the way. Dominating VMI, an easy win, 41-5, your final score. Hey, what's the difference between an 11 a.m. Central Time kickoff and an 8 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff? Well, that depends who you ask, just as long as you're not asking Nick Saban. Because as we learned this week, there's no difference. And it's not a question he likes to answer.
Coming off an emotional game that LSU is every year, what are the challenges in getting ready for an 11 o'clock kick?
Well, I don't know that 11 o'clock kick means much anything unless it means something to you. Game starts at 11 o'clock. Everybody knows it starts at 11 o'clock. That means we have pregame meal 4 hours before the game, and you got to get ready to play at 11 o'clock. I don't know what last week's game has to do with playing at 11 o'clock this week. I don't know what 11 o'clock. If you're a good player, you're ready to play when you got to play. When the whistle blows, you're ready to play.
Got it? Good. Don't ask again. Saban and the Tide kick at 11 Central. 12 noon from Mississippi State in Tuscaloosa this Saturday. It's Alabama's final SEC game before that showdown with Auburn to end the season 2 weeks from Saturday. In between that game, a date with the Chattanooga Mocs. Some off-season baseball news. One of Tennessee's own will be playing a lot closer to home. The Atlanta Braves have signed Nashville native veteran knuckleballer R.A. Dickey. Dickey, a former Tennessee Vol, spent the previous 4 seasons in Toronto. Last year he was 10-15 with a 4.46 ERA in the hitter-friendly American League East. Yes, he has been around for almost 2 decades. The one thing about those knuckleballers,
Yeah.
They
pitch forever.
That's right. Preserves that arm, huh? And they're
Rubber
amazing
arm.
to watch.
Right,
Yeah.
can I just say I prefer Foster over Saban when it comes to those sound bites.
You're not alone.
I'm on the record for that.
You're not
Okay.
alone.
Just keep
Foster
on bringing
waits
them.
for the chuckle. Saban
Yeah.
waits for the silence.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a
Paul
good
Beers has
point.
your 7-day forecast next.
Well, the smoke tomorrow morning will probably be just where the fires are. It won't be spreading out. But later on in the afternoon, the winds will be out of the north. Temperatures will be climbing in the mid-upper 60s to near 70 degrees, and the smoke will start spreading out all over the place again. The winds again out of the north, blowing it south. 70 for the high tomorrow, 64. Saturday, 65. Sunday, no rain the next 7 days.
All right, Paul, thank you.
Hang on to your hats. A Japanese innovation company has unveiled for the first time the world's biggest dinosaur robots.
T-Rex was the first to invade the event hall, roaring loudly and stomping toward the audience at a performance inside a downtown Tokyo hotel. The human-operated creature even pretended to bite the head off of a caretaker. That is too real.
The dinosaur's creator talked about his dream of wanting to create a dino park. We know how that ends up, don't we? Where visitors could see and experience the creatures firsthand.
Oh my, they're good.
You worry about humanoid robots taking over the world. What if these are the ones that finally do it, huh? That is interesting.
Wow.
So there are no people in there, right? I guess they're just
They're
robots.
Yeah, they're robots.
That's too much.
All right.
Sleep well, America.
Yeah, right?
Have a good night.